Arizona PBS programming is brought to you in part by the underwriting support of local businesses. Learn how you can support Arizona PBS and grow your own business by reaching viewers like you. Call 602-496-8664 or azpbs.org/underwriting.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Whitfill Nursery, proud to support Arizona PBS, a Valley tradition since 1946. Over 200 acres of Arizona-grown trees, citrus, and palms. Complete custom design and installation. And Whitfill Nursery still does the digging. WhitfillNursery.com. Hayes Mechanical and W.J. Maloney, a division of Hayes Mechanical, provide commercial and residential HVACR and plumbing services, serving customers for over 98 years. Information at hayesmechanical.com or 602-944-5516.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Tax day is just 3 weeks away, and as the day grows closer, the IRS warns of scammers, how fraudulent phone calls are being used that could put your money at risk.
Plus, a local high school is vandalized with defamatory graffiti. We take a look at the response community members are making to heighten their security.
And for the first time, the city of Phoenix is hosting the Final Four for NCAA basketball tournament. The Cronkite News team looks at what security measures are being put in place.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Emma Lockhart.
And I'm Zach Pocklip. Thanks for joining us.
We have team coverage on the big week ahead as the Final Four descends on the Valley.
Both Phoenix and Glendale law enforcement are joining forces to make sure everything goes smoothly as the Valley hosts its third national sporting event in as many years.
Reporters Tyler Paley and Joe Constantine have the details.
The Final Four itself is just part of an entire weekend of events, expected to draw more than 100,000 people to the Valley.
That's right, Tyler, and agencies are working towards Valley-wide to maintain order, and they told me today that they're relying on past experiences to make next week safe for everyone.
First, the Super Bowl in 2015, then the College Football Championship in 2016, and now, this weekend, the NCAA Men's Basketball Final Four. Law agencies and Valley leaders say, game on.
Our job is to keep you safe, and much like officials in a game, if we're detracting you from the experience, you're not having a good time. We're here to ensure that you have a good time and that you remain safe in your time here in the Valley.
We're making sure that we're properly staffed so we have maximum deployment, but at the same time too, working with our regional partners, we really have great connection points and great communication, so that's why we're encouraging people to really take public transportation, because getting in and out of downtown Phoenix is going to be a challenge.
When it comes to the games in Glendale, the city is encouraging fans to come early and stay late due to multiple road closures around the stadium.
The Final Four will span over 4 full days, meaning the Westgate District will be on lockdown starting Friday afternoon all the way through Monday night's championship game.
When I say lockdown, I mean things that are coming in and out, even vendors that are coming in and out of the footprint will be screened. We'll make sure that everybody is safe in how they're approaching and the directions that they're coming, and allowing for traffic control to maintain the roadways that they need to maintain so that the people coming and going can still get in and out of the venue as well.
Glendale and Phoenix leaders say they are confident in their third go-around with a national sporting event and simply just want the fans to enjoy the experience, but keep a keen eye.
You've heard it multiple times today. If you see something that doesn't look right, say something about it.
And Sky Harbor Airport will be bracing for an influx of fans from both coasts, as both North and South Carolina making the finals, along with Pacific Northwest fans flying in to support the Oregon Ducks and Gonzaga.
Yeah, Joe, and while basketball is certainly the headline of this weekend, there are plenty of events lined up for fans without tickets.
This may be our first Final Four, but it is not our first rodeo.
Phoenix has had its share of championship rodeos, so to speak, in the last 3 years, with the Super Bowl in 2015 and the College Football Playoff National Championship last year. But basketball isn't the only thing fans have to look forward to, according to Dawn Rogers, the executive director of the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee.
As we've all come to realize, The games are just one part of what this weekend is going to entail.
City and state officials expect over 100,000 people in downtown Phoenix for Final Four related events throughout the week. Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton said the city is ready for the influx of fans.
The preparations go back to the very day that the NCAA selected Phoenix to host its first ever Final Four. Everything from transit to traffic, public safety, even recycling.
From Friday through Monday, the Final Four Fan Fest will be at the Phoenix Convention Center with youth clinics, autograph signings, and interactive games. Just down the road, the March Madness Music Festival will occupy Margaret T. Hance Park from Friday until Sunday, with headline artists such as the Chainsmokers, Keith Urban, Macklemore, and Aerosmith set to perform. And on top of all of that, the Diamondbacks open their season at Chase Field on Sunday.
A week from Sunday may be the busiest night in downtown Phoenix in our city's history, and we can't wait.
And to put a cherry on top of it all, there will actually be a few top-notch basketball games too, right down the road in Glendale.
Stay tuned to CronkiteNews.azpbs.org throughout the week for continuing Final Four coverage. In the broadcast center, I'm Joe Constantine.
And I'm Tyler Paley, Cronkite News.
A big business move for the Oakland Raiders. The team won approval today at the NFL owners meeting in Phoenix to relocate the franchise to Las Vegas. The Raiders received 31 of 32 votes to approve the move. 24 votes were needed.
We have some work to do, but yeah, absolutely. But we're the Oakland Raiders right now still, as we're playing in Oakland. And we look forward to our new home in Nevada.
Miami was the only team to vote against the move. The Raiders got about $750 million from Nevada taxpayers last year to build a new stadium near the Strip. Davis is putting up $500 million, and Bank of America has committed to financing the rest. The new Raiders stadium is scheduled to open in 2020.
Phoenix police are trying to figure out who painted declarations of white power on the walls of Pinnacle High School over the weekend. The vandalism has been removed, but not before pictures of the graffiti spread across social media. The vandalism follows a series of bomb threats to Jewish synagogues and community centers, which has prompted the Valley of the Sun JCC to beef up security. Members are now required to wear badges that they scan when they go inside. The center has also hired a former police officer to oversee campus security and relocated their security desk closer to the entrance.
We want to be able to assure the community that we're doing everything possible to make the place as secure as it can be and safe. We want people to feel safe. And unfortunately, that's what terror and vandalism does, is it begins to scratch at people's security, and it can change your way of life.
The vandalism at Pinnacle High is still under investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call the police.
The Trump administration is continuing its tough talk against sanctuary cities, which shelter people living in the country illegally by refusing to help the federal government enforce immigration laws. Attorney General Jeff Sessions says he is urging states and cities to comply.
Failure to remedy violations could result in withholding grants, termination of grants, and disbarment or ineligibility for future grants. The Department of Justice will also take all lawful steps to claw back any funds awarded to a jurisdiction that willfully violates 1373.
President Trump has said during the campaign that he would defund sanctuary cities by taking away their federal funding. Sanctuary cities include New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, but no cities in Arizona currently identify as one. The city of Phoenix voted against becoming a sanctuary city last month.
After the failure of the House GOP's plan to repeal and replace Obamacare, President Trump is setting his focus back on some of his central campaign topics. Just this morning, the president and first daughter Ivanka met with small business owners for a roundtable conversation on their experience as female entrepreneurs. In a briefing today, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer commented on the president's commitment to working with Democrats in the near future.
Is the president serious about working with Democrats going forward after what happened with healthcare?
Absolutely. In fact, starting Friday afternoon through late yesterday, he's received a number of calls, as well as other members of the senior staff that had been working on healthcare from members of both sides, saying that they would like to work together, offer up ideas.
The Dow fell this morning for the 8th day in a row. This marks the Dow's longest losing streak since 2011. The plummet comes after the fail of the GOP's plan to replace Obamacare. Many investors reassess the future of key White House proposals, including tax reform and health care. The Dow Jones Industrial Average traded about 40 points lower after falling nearly 200 points earlier, with Goldman Sachs contributing the most losses. This may have happened to you.
Your phone rings and an automated voice tells you that you owe the IRS money. Coming up on Cronkite News, we take a look at how these messages are scamming citizens during tax season.
And a group from ASU is teaching people how to lobby for women's rights, why these students are aiming for Capitol Hill.
I'm Scott Pelley, anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News. In our changing media landscape, it is crucial for journalism education to ensure a commitment to the truth, unbiased reporting, strong ethics, unwavering fairness, and above all else, accuracy. These are the hallmarks of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. It's a place where students can innovate and transform the news industry while always upholding the values of the school's namesake. The Cronkite School at ASU, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Discover so much more at azpbs.org/schedule, where it's easier than ever to find out what's on Arizona PBS. Access interactive digital and printable program guides, repeat times, and full episode descriptions. Watch program previews of best bets for the coming week. Search by title to find your favorite shows. You can even add programs to your calendar and get email reminders when they're about to start. It's easier than ever to find out what's on Arizona PBS. Discover so much more at azpbs.org/schedule. When you want to be more connected, friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, watch us online.
A warning tonight from the Internal Revenue Service that could affect just about everyone. With millions of people set to submit their tax returns in the next few weeks, the IRS is worried scammers are looking to take advantage. As Cronkite News reporter Tyler Fingert found out, scammers have already swiped millions from Arizonans.
Tonight, the phone's ringing, but you may not want to answer.
This is in reference to criminal lawsuits filed against you.
It sounds legitimate, but the IRS says it isn't.
The tactics that are utilized by these scammers are not ones that the IRS would utilize.
Here's how it works. Scammers call potential victims saying they owe money, telling them they better pay up right now. But most of the time, that person doesn't owe a penny. The scam entirely based on fear.
They're able to trick people and frighten them into doing something that their common sense may tell them that they shouldn't do.
So far, scammers have stolen more than $50 million from consumers with the scam, but there's concern that number could go up.
We think our law enforcement action has made a dent in it, but I'm still concerned that it appears that it's starting to move back up and become more prevalent again.
In Arizona alone, more than $1.1 million was swindled from nearly 300 Arizonans in just the last 3 years. As of now, there's no end in sight.
These sorts of IRS ID theft scams and phone scams are going to continue because the income tax is a $1 trillion plus a year business.
A scam to watch out for, right in the heart of tax season, as scammers look to make a quick buck at your expense. In Washington, Tyler Fingert, Cronkite News.
The IRS has a few tips to avoid falling victim to one of these people. First, the agency won't demand that you pay taxes without first allowing you to appeal the amount you owe. Also, they won't force you to pay in a certain way, like prepaid cards. Finally, the IRS won't threaten to send police immediately for not paying. So if you get one of these calls, you think it may be a scam, just hang up.
Hackers may have stolen personal information from people in Arizona and 9 other states who search for jobs online. The Arizona Department of Economic Security announced on Friday the breach of the state site operated by America's Job Link. The name, social security number, and birth date of residents using the website azjobconnection.gov may have been stolen. The DES announcement didn't estimate the number of potentially compromised accounts. DES Director Henry Darwin says affected clients will be notified by the company. While many people are feeling down about the current political environment, some Arizona State students are getting more fired up about political advocacy. Reporter Anthony Marroquin met today with a group in Washington to see what they're doing to get involved and make a change.
Daniel Restrepo says growing up under the Obama administration may have made him a little complacent with the political system, but that he's ready to make a change.
I was kind of horrified, and so I kind of realized that was where I needed to step up and do my part where I hadn't been in the past.
He was one of over 300 other advocates in Washington this weekend for a workshop sponsored by Population Connection.
Absolutely. We say, hi, we are constituents. We are all Arizona State University students, and we are speaking on behalf of Population Connection.
This morning, Arizona State University students took to Capitol Hill to talk to their elected officials about an executive order passed in January, which takes funding away from international groups that mention abortion.
Not too many people really dive in on what exactly needs to happen for reproductive rights, so somebody's got to stand up. So why not us?
But that wasn't the only thing they were looking to accomplish.
To take these materials and take information back home to better enable us to act in our own communities and in our own towns and cities.
And even more, to show that this is not an issue that they're willing to step back from.
If it is coming out to the Capitol to physically be here and physically speak to them and knock on their own office doors, we will be that generation. We will be that crowd of people. We will be those activists that's larger than just an issue. We intend to be a movement.
In Washington, Anthony Marroquin, KRONK 8 News.
After walking the halls of Congress today, those students were scheduled to head back home and bring their enthusiasm back with them.
Meanwhile, another young Arizonan is headed to the nation's capital. Penna Ba is an 8th grader from Sossaman Middle School in Queen Creek. She beat 26 other competitors to win the 2017 Arizona State Spelling Bee this past weekend.
Usually I open the dictionary to a random page and I just study that page every day.
And her family is from the West African country of Mauritania. She's not allowed to use any electronics during the week since studying comes first. Penna correctly spelled the word Gigue, which is G-I-G-U-E, in the 29th round to win the state spelling bee. She'll represent Arizona in the 90th annual Scripps Spelling Bee at the end of May. Arizona could be a prime location for growing hemp.
Coming up on Cronkite News, how farmers and lawmakers are discussing legalizing industrial hemp farming.
And it's been a windy day in northern Arizona. When those winds are expected to calm up next, as well as what you can expect this weekend if you're heading out to the Final Four.
I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. Right about now.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in. Arizona State wins. Heaving one deep, and it is caught. Jalen Strong. Do you believe it?
Combat is like crack cocaine. It's an enormous high, but it has enormous costs. And I think that we make a big mistake if we say, oh, well, war is hell. We all know the war is hell story. It is, but there's an enormously exhilarating part of it.
A new cash crop may be coming to Arizona. It can be used to make everything from t-shirts to baked goods, but it's controversial. Cronkite News reporter Amanda Liberto tells us about a bill to legalize industrial hemp.
I tell everybody this is rope, it's not dope.
Senator Sonny Borelli sponsored SB 1337 for the legalization of industrial hemp. While he says his goal is to bring a new, safe crop to the state, some senators, like Senator David Farnsworth, are concerned about its cousin, marijuana.
I believe a young hemp plant looks very similar to a young marijuana plant, making it more difficult for law enforcement.
Borelli says legalizing industrial hemp in Arizona has nothing to do with being a backdoor approach to legalizing marijuana, but is more focused on the economic implications of growing it right here in the state.
So I think it's ridiculous when we have the land, we have the water, we have the air, we have the perfect climates to be able to actually grow it here. It makes absolutely no sense to grow it in another country, bring the raw material here to be processed when we can do that here.
He says that some of the benefits would be that industrial hemp takes less water to grow than one of Arizona's 5 Cs, cotton, and is a cash crop that can get up to 8 cuttings a year. SB 1337 for the legalization of industrial hemp makes its final way into the House of Representatives. It seems there are still some questions as to if it will be beneficial or not. Paul Ollerton has been growing cotton on his farm in Casa Grande, Arizona. He welcomes the idea of a new crop to grow, but he questions how well hemp might do here.
I'm not going to dispute the fact that it might use less water, but we just don't know because nobody's done any experimenting with it here in the state of Arizona.
Ollerton says that the soil and climate in Arizona is much different than the other parts of the country that grow hemp legally. And in the end, you're always at the mercy of Mother Nature. In Phoenix, Amanda Luberto, Cronkite News.
Senate Majority Leader Kimberly Yee's office says they do not expect the bill to make it to the House floor later this week. There are some high wind advisories across the state today.
Let's see how long that wind will blow through Arizona. Chloe Ranshaw is in the Cronkite Weather Center with your 7-day forecast. Chloe?
That's right. Most of that wind was concentrated in northern Arizona. We expect that to clear out by Wednesday, late tomorrow in the afternoon. As for your temperatures today, it was quite a few degrees higher than the average. We're seeing a high of 92 degrees and a low of 62 compared to that average of 80 degrees. As for the rest of your valley, it has been a pretty mild day. We're looking at 54 degrees in Show Low, 59 degrees in Prescott, 77 degrees over in Lake Havasu, and a little bit hotter down south with 78 degrees over in Tucson. As for the rest of your week, those temperatures are pretty mild. We're seeing 75 degrees tomorrow, 83 degrees on Wednesday. Once those winds clear, the temperatures will pick back up just a little bit with 88 degrees on Thursday. As for the rest of your week, if you're getting excited for the Final Four, you can expect 82 degrees on Friday, 80 degrees on Saturday, and 83 degrees on Sunday, as well as all the way to next Monday, you can expect 83 degrees. In the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Chloe Ranshaw.
Research shows that Native Americans are at a higher risk for mental disorders and genetic disabilities.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, how this dual degree graduate is making strides to promote awareness for Native Americans with disabilities.
Heaven knows you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. This is our life. This is what
Native Americans with disabilities are at an economic disadvantage with low rates of employment and high rates of poverty. Cronkite News reporter Mia Maslar talks about leaders in the community and what they're doing to overcome the obstacles.
We call it See the Possibilities.
Gregory Ohanassian beat the odds. At age 6, he was diagnosed with autism. Now in his mid-20s, he's working toward his second master's degree. And now he's a motivational speaker. He was the keynote speaker at the recent American Indian Disability Summit in Phoenix. He encouraged people with disabilities to find ways around challenges.
Like I was the first person allowed ever to have an aide in the classroom, and my sister stepped in to be that aide for me.
Research shows a mere 33% of people with disabilities are employed, compared to 74% of people without disabilities. And Native Americans have the highest rate of disability compared to other races and ethnicities.
People with disabilities don't have that sidewalks sometimes on reservations. They don't have, trails that will lead them to be able to get around.
Research shows Native Americans are more likely to experience mental disorders than other races. Depression and anxiety, along with other illnesses, can create barriers to employment.
When you make the transition from high school to college or to employment, it'll be tough the first few years, so it's important to get the right services and supports and to also learn to advocate for yourself.
Ohanassian hopes to continue advocating for youth and encouraging them to pursue their goals. In Phoenix, Mia Maslar, Cronkite News.
Disability summits are open to people of all cultures and backgrounds. They run off donations and support from local nonprofits like Ability 360.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, the first woman hired as chief of the Phoenix Police Department and the first woman hired as the city's fire chief. Join us to discuss the impact of women leading public safety departments. It's the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next NewsHour, a look at the powerful Border Patrol and life on the border inside the United States. That's Monday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, is this Italian glass vase a gift that keeps on giving?
I received this vase about 30 years ago from a real estate client.
It's something we can't find anywhere. This market has been seeing enormous jumps in it, like just crazy.
Sorry. Thank you, Harley.
Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow from Palm Springs, California.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
Arizona PBS provides great musical performances all year long, and now we have some of the best seats to see your favorite acts live and in concert. Arizona PBS Box Office presents a backstage pass to meet world-class performers. Arizona PBS Box Office presents a chance to see exciting performances before they sell out. This month, Arizona PBS Box Office presents an evening in conversation with Yanni and his piano with fan interaction, Saturday, April 8th at Mesa Arts Center.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Your favorite PBS shows, ready to watch when you are. Anytime, any place. Find more ways to explore than ever before.
Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
Join us on Arizona Horizon as we focus on the final round of the NCAA Basketball Championships being held here in Arizona. We'll hear from ASU basketball coach Bobby Hurley, and we'll wrap it up with a special Sports Reporters edition of the Friday Journalists Roundtable.
A Viking sword, forged of pure steel, a millennium ahead of its time.
A state-of-the-art weapon.
Where did they get this raw material? We have to look at the artifact and then reverse engineer.
Can a modern-day swordsmith bring a fierce weapon back to life? Secrets of the Viking Sword, a Nova National Geographic special.
Wednesday night at 8 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
An evening in conversation with Yanni and his piano.
We'll be able to talk. I'll be able to see your faces.
Saturday, April 8th at Mesa Arts Center.
And yes, I will be playing the piano for you.
Reserve seats at mesaartscenter.com.
Ironwood Cancer Research Centers specialize in prostate cancer treatment and is a proud member of the Association of Community Cancer Centers. Patients have access to robotic surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and clinical trials.
Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we'll look at women in public safety leadership roles as we welcome Phoenix Police Chief Jerry Williams and the city's fire chief, Kara Kalkbrenner. That's next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Phoenix and Glendale law enforcement officials say that they're ready to provide security for the upcoming Final Four of the NCAA basketball tournament. The cities say that they're ready in large part because they've handled this kind of thing before.
Lessons learned, you never have enough people, you never have too many people, I should say, working and considering security. So we staff properly, according to the needs of the event and the number of people that are coming, and that's the biggest lesson, is make sure you have enough staffing to accommodate the needs of everybody that are coming in.
We're making sure that we're properly staffed so we have maximum deployment, but at the same time too, working with our regional partners, we really have great connection points and great communication, so that's why we're encouraging people to really take public transportation, because getting in and out of downtown Phoenix is going to be a challenge.
The games start April 1st with law enforcement busy at the game site in Glendale and in Phoenix, where an Aerosmith concert, a Phoenix Symphony performance, and the Diamondbacks season opener will make Sunday one of the busiest days ever in the downtown area. Phoenix officials made history when they hired Chief Jerry Williams last year as the first woman to serve as the city's police chief. This after the city made history by hiring Kara Kalkbrenner a couple of years prior as the first woman to serve as the city's fire chief. Phoenix is now the largest city in the country with its police and fire departments run by women. We welcome Phoenix Police Chief Jerry Williams and Fire Chief Kara Kalkbrenner to Arizona Horizon. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
We'll start with you, Chief. First female police chief in Phoenix. That surprise you a little bit?
So what surprised me wasn't getting selected. The process surprised me. I don't really think I thought about being the first female until the Wednesday after being notified that I got the job, that I sat down in a restaurant with my family, and it took a little bit of a deep sigh. I was on my way to Phoenix for a press conference, and I said, holy smokes, I am the first female. And my guy's husband, 2 sons, they both look at me like, really, Mom? So I didn't even think about it, and I'm sure Kara will, or Chief Kalkbrenner will talk about this. We were picked because we're good leaders, and we just happened to be women.
But it still seems surprising a little bit to me that it took this long for the first woman to be named police chief.
Yeah, so you have to really look at law enforcement. So we're in 2 non-traditional careers, both police and fire. And not very many women come up through the ranks and want the type of responsibility that we have. But thank goodness for the city of Phoenix really pushing us through the process and giving us opportunities. So we're very blessed in that regard.
And you're one of only 6, I believe, women fire chiefs in the entire country. Why is that? I mean, again, why did it take so long for Phoenix to have a female fire chief?
There's actually more than six. There's 3 of us in the top 10 largest cities in the country.
The largest, I'm sorry, the big cities.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's 6 in the top 30. Same thing as Chief Williams mentioned, is that coming up through the ranks, there wasn't a lot of women ahead of me that wanted this position, and I came on young and went back to school, and I was mentored and coached by my predecessors and got great leadership skills from them, and it just was a natural evolution. And Phoenix likes to hire from within because we came up through the ranks and understand our community. We're engaged in our community, and I think it was just a natural progression to have me as the next person.
Why did you want the job?
Because I have the skill set and I love my community. I've been 32 years, I've been on the fire department as of last February. I came up through the ranks and I knew I could make a difference. I was a good firefighter, I was a good engineer, captain, deputy chief, all through the ranks, and I knew I could make a difference. I got to the place in my career where the previous fire chief was leaving, and he had coached me so well and mentored me that I knew I had the skill set to move on. I knew the vision of the city, what the elected officials wanted, as well as the city management, and I had what it takes to do it, so I was very proud and honored.
Why did you want this job? I got a pretty good idea why you wanted it. This is your hometown, and you were police chief in Oxnard, so you had a chief background. But just being a police chief, not a lot of folks, not everyone wants that kind of responsibility.
No, and not everyone is cut out to do it. So it goes back to what Chief Carpenter talked about, service. It's really about giving back to the community, really wanting to make a difference, and much like Chief Carpenter also, I had so many people in the Phoenix Police Department and the City of Phoenix mentoring, helping me through leadership and providing opportunities. So we're both here to make a difference. I'm certain we're making an impact with our employees. I'm certain we're making an impact with the city, and why not us?
Are there challenges being a woman in this kind of leadership role?
So for me, I've been the first female in a lot of different areas, so I don't look at it as a challenge. I look at it as a different set of lens. So I perceive and think of things differently because I'm a wife, because I'm a mom, because I'm a police chief, because I'm a police officer. So I think all those different hats bring this great recipe and great mix for success.
The idea of looking at it from a woman's perspective, does it make that big of a difference?
I don't think so. I think men and women have similar leadership styles and management styles, and Jerry said it best, Chief Williams, is we look through things through a different lens. In my experience, my growing up in the city, my understanding of what the fire department needed is my lens. I think I just bring something to the table that's unique to me as Kara, female, male, doesn't matter. I just think it's something, a skill set that I have.
When young women say that they look at the fire department and they go, this looks fun, this looks interesting, but I just don't know if it's for me, what do you tell them?
Particularly young women, we have a cadet program where we encourage people between the ages of 16 and 24 to come down and truly get exposed to what firefighting is about. I started the cadet program when I was 16. I knew at 16 years old I wanted to be a firefighter. Wow. So I volunteered for 3.5 years before I was old enough and eligible to get on the fire department. So I encourage young women to seek out what the fire service is actually about. It isn't Chicago Fire and it isn't Rescue Me. There's certain things that we do things in the fire service different from what you will catch on TV. So the cadet program is an awesome way to truly understand what the career of a firefighter is all about.
What do you tell young women who think law enforcement, police work might be for them, but they're just not sure?
So great opportunities. I mean, no day is ever the same, and the promotional opportunities, the tuition reimbursement, the retirement, it's all possible, and you can have it all with a lot of support. So I was really fortunate to have a lot of family support and helping with the kids when I had children while being a very young sergeant. Now that I think about it, wow, a very young sergeant on the police department, but with a lot of support, anything is possible.
Let's talk about your backgrounds here. I want to get to the irony of the fact that you knew each other like growing up, for goodness sakes. But when did you think or decide, I want to be a cop?
So it wasn't until after I graduated from college and an airline would not hire me because I was too heavy to be part of this airline. So I weighed too much. I went down to the City of Phoenix board, looked at the job opportunities, and I'm certain there was probably a fire department one, but I'm afraid of heights. So picked the police officer job opportunity bulletin and thought, what the heck, let me try it. And 28 years later, here I am.
What did your family think when you said, you know, I think I might get into police work?
Mom didn't talk to me for a week.
Isn't that interesting?
So it was very unique. So this was 1988. So at the time, my mom thought you only became a cop because you couldn't do anything else. And I'd spent 5 years in college, 5-year plan, 5 years in college, and she just could not believe that that was the career choice. But when she saw that I was serious, she steered me in the right direction.
And,
so
and I'm sure backed you the entire way after.
Absolutely.
But it was your interest
Yes.
that turned her interest.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's just amazing.
16 years old, and you decide you want to be in the fire. What was it about? Was it the trucks? Was it the excitement? What was it?
You know, it was interesting. I worked at a store in West Phoenix called Malcolm's. John F. Long kind of created Maryville, and he owned his store called Malcolm's, and I was a sales clerk there. And this couple used to come in. They're just lovely people, and I got to know them very well. And they said to me one day, they said, "Have you ever thought about being a firefighter?" Now you have to remember, I was 16, so this is about 1982. And I said, "Women aren't firefighters." And she looked at me, the wife looked at me and smiled. She says, "Well, our son is on the Phoenix Fire Department, and he is dating one of the pioneer women on the Phoenix Fire Department. And we think, since we've gotten to know you, you would be a great firefighter." I was just amazed. I mean, I was always athletic. I always wanted to be on my own. I wanted to make a difference, give back to my community. So I go home that night, and we didn't have the internet back then, 1982.
Sure.
So I'm laying in bed going, oh, I can't wait till 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had to get up, and I called the Phoenix Fire Department, 262-6002, and they answered the phone back then. Can you imagine that?
Huh.
You actually somebody answers the phone. And I just started getting interested in getting information, and I got involved with the cadet program.
Isn't it interesting how one person saying something can turn you into, because do you think you would have considered this line of work without that kind of comment?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I ever would have heard about it. But there's still people today that don't realize that women are firefighters.
Yeah,
So,
that's
you know,
true.
it was happenstance.
Now, you mentioned Maryvale. You're from Maryvale.
Yes.
You're from Mary. You two grew up together?
Same junior high school, same high school for a little bit of time. So this was destiny.
It was.
Is what I call it.
Do you have to find that ironic? But that's amazing.
It's a unique set of opportunities that just kind of all came together. I was thrilled as pie when Kara was named the fire chief. I mean, I screamed as though it were me becoming the police chief, but I'm just so proud of the accomplishments. And what's amazing about our relationship is I have a friend I can pick up and call. And I'm sure she would say the same thing, so we're really fortunate.
I was going to say, did you know each other well in high school? I mean, you had to be amazed at this kind of coincidence.
We knew each other. We had a pretty big school, probably 2,000 kids, but she was in dance and drama, and I did sports, and we'd see each other in campus and in the quad, but we didn't really hang out together. And then, but when she became a police officer and I was a firefighter, we used to run in the same area, town, so on West Side, so I'd see her on calls, and we'd just kind of say, hey. And then we actually reconnected in Valley Leadership, class of 24.
Oh.
We were both in Valley Leadership, and she was becoming a commander, and I was a division chief. So since then, that's about 14 years ago, we've been connected.
It's just amazing. I find that fascinating. And Phoenix natives as well.
Yes.
Helps you in the job?
Oh, absolutely. So remembering and recalling what the city was like, knowing the streets, knowing how to get around, knowing the different personalities, both in the department, in the city, and in the community, has been a huge, huge connecting point.
Same with you?
Same with me. Yeah, again, growing up in the streets, and we knew our community and the growth, and knowing where the city's going and how the challenges that we had in the past, but where we're moving forward is just incredible.
When you took the oath of office, I believe you made a point of saying, I am your chief.
Absolutely.
That was the emphasis there.
Yes.
Why?
Because I do believe police and community are all one. I don't think it's a